like a little bit of like a diary entry in many, many ways. But today's been a tricky day. So I am undiagnosed autistic, self-diagnosed autistic. And today I hit overload on a public level, which is really unusual. I was in my safe place, I was in the gym, I was training, and everything just felt far too much. Everything felt really, really wrong, to the point that I was like so overwhelmed, I had to walk away. So the squat bar felt wrong. I could feel it on my back, it was too much, it was too heavy, it felt awkward, I wanted it off. My feet felt wrong on the floor, I couldn't grip my feet, like the positioning just felt so far gone. Then I moved over to the hack squat, and my bun, no matter where I put it, was annoying me. My hair was getting caught, and then I felt it on my shoulders, and normally that like impaction, that compact feeling really grounds me, but today it was actually heightening me. And I just kind of literally mid-rep was like, if I do not get off and get away, because there's too many people, there's too much noise, there's too much going on around me, there's movement everywhere, and I cannot navigate any of this, I am just going to cry. I am going to melt down. I don't feel that very often as an adult, but when I do, it's the most intense feeling ever. And luckily, there's a spin studio which is private. There's a sign on the door if you shut the door, and I work at the gym. So I was able to take myself off to the spin studio, shut the door, and just sit and almost kind of cry in silence. And I go very, very inwards in those moments, so I find it really easy to type or write. I actually find it quite easy to talk to a camera, but I don't find it easy to talk to a person. I can't vocalise myself very well, and even now I'm a lot slower in my speech than normal because I'm struggling to put my words and feelings together. But I kind of just sat motionless for half an hour, like rooted to the spot. And the irony is, I actually said to my wife, I think it was yesterday, I feel like I just need to cry. And I still, as an adult, haven't quite got that recognition yet that I have these feelings, and that sometimes I'm getting a bit overwhelmed and I need to take care of that myself. And it's a scary thing to admit, it's a really scary thing to come to terms with and kind of recognise that actually those situations in the past where I've been totally, utterly confused by what I feel is because I was actually overwhelmed and overloaded, and I just didn't know that. And the more I recognise these things and the more often they happen, the easier they kind of get to deal with because I can navigate my way around them a bit more. But I also know that off the back of this, it's going to take me a couple of days until I actually feel kind of good and right again. The unfortunate thing is today I was actually meant to be filming a brand campaign for a brand that is absolutely huge. I'm so honoured to be working with them. It's like literally like goal status, and I literally went into freeze mode. Like I could not film. I didn't even know what to film. I had a brief, but I didn't know what to do. And that is how kind of quickly it can internally cripple you. Like I go into quite big, kind of like, almost like shutdown mode. I don't know what am I meant to do, where am I meant to be. I can't get my words out, I cannot articulate how I feel. And normally I'm actually pretty good at masking when things are too much or navigating a situation that feels too much. But if things build up, and this week I've actually taken on quite a lot. So this week my existence on social media has been a bit battered. It's been quite hard to deal with. My routine has changed day to day, I'm making job changes that again creates a different routine, and just general life changes. Like, it brings a touch of, it's not instability, but it's different. And I'm noticing at the moment I'm really struggling with change. It just tipped me. And the thing, I used to use like social media to talk about these things, to kind of come on, and it was like a cathartic place to leave my feelings. And since kind of growing a following, I haven't really been able to do that on a safe level without it being kind of twisted, manipulated, or anything like that. But I actually think it's really important, especially for female representation of neurodiversity, to come forward and be like, actually, this is what happens, this is how we feel, or how I feel, because then that gives other people the voice to come out and talk about it too, and explain kind of where their head's at with neurodiversity. So if anything, this video is for me. This one, it really is for me, to help me to get it out, because I will probably sit very quiet for the rest of the afternoon, aside from with my kids, where I come alive, and they've just got this magic thing they can like bring me back to life instantly. But it's really hard. It's hard when you go into overwhelm, overload, everything's too much. Even down to a smell, it's too much. It can just shut you down. So, yeah. This one was 100% for me. It's less of a Tanks Talks and more of a, actually it is a Tanks Talks, isn't it? It's like an old school Tanks Talks. And if you're new here, this is just who I am. I sit on camera and I just talk about stuff. I talk about really random things, generally how I'm feeling, what's going on. But yeah, this week's been a week, and I think I'm desperately clawing to put some structure back into place. Stop people pleasing. I'm always so worried about judgment. What's somebody going to do? What's somebody going to say? Have I made them happy? Have I upset them? I onboard other people's emotions a lot and don't necessarily offload my own. That's a bad habit that I'm actively working on to not do so much anymore, but just being way more conscious of my own feelings and my own headspace makes all the difference. So yeah, if you watch this, thanks. If you don't, you don't. But I'll catch you soon.